Hello, everyone. So apologies for the delay. We were experiencing, of course, unmitigated disaster as our presentation disappeared out of thin air and we had to recreate it in 5 minutes, which means this is going to be a good one. And it ties into, thank you.
I'm going to introduce you.
Yeah, now introductions, but yes. We are the underdogs now. We're not going to sit. Are we going to sit?
All right, welcome back to day one of AWE 2021 afternoon session. So I have some housekeeping stuff that I'm going to quickly take care of. All right, if you haven't downloaded the app, it's at awe.live. You can put together your own agenda, find exhibitors, and connect with other attendees. We have a leaderboard. Attendees with the most engagement can win prizes. I was thinking, why don't they put an RFID chip in the badge, and you could see who has what points above them, and you could help somebody out that doesn't have that many points, or just an idea.
That's a great idea.
Special events. The welcome reception is this evening. All AWE participants are invited. Make sure you have your wristbands for that still. That's at the Santa Clara Ballroom at the Hyatt Regency, our hotel that we're at right now, on the second floor. There's a coffee break sponsored by Niantic that happened this morning, so you forget about that. Augie Awards, there's 15 breakthrough categories, as well as 3 Best in Show categories.
Is there a house category?
Is there a what category?
A house category, an AR house category?
There should be.
I
You
hope-
guys might win if there was. I think you'd win.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
let
hope
me wrap this up and you can do all your stuff.
Sorry.
So don't miss tomorrow's other special events, like the happy hour. It's at the playground. It's Exhibit Hall D from 6 to 7 p.m. And an after party at the Glass House, downtown San Jose. It's about 15 minutes away, and there's shuttles from out front that'll get you there. And I'm just going to jump into my introductions for these guys. I think that's it for housekeeping, because we're running a little late. I've been a huge fan of both of your works, and I work for REI, and we're very values driven. I think Where Our Thoughts Go. I got that right?
Close enough.
Okay. What is it?
Where thoughts go?
Where Thoughts Go. When I first experienced that, I was blown away. It actually sent chills through me going through the various areas where you can stand and in VR in these like kind of low poly environments, and look at these bubbles that are in front of you, and there's a question, and you could hear other people's response to that question. Things like, who made the biggest impact in your life, and if you would do something over again, how would you do? And you could listen to all these voices. It was so moving, and it's one of the most beautiful VR experiences that I know of, and I tell lots of people about it. So thank you so much for that. And Aidan, I love animating doodles with your app. It's a lot of fun.
Why are you giving me the microphone? Woo! Yeah,
All right.
HoloLens was like one of the best AR phone apps, and still is, ever created. This guy's amazing.
Well, that's enough for me. I'm going to let these guys do their thing. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Hi, everyone. So in the interest of keeping this talk dynamic and also to make up for the fact of the unmitigated disaster that you've just heard about, Q&A is open starting now. But also, first of all, let me give you guys an introduction to what the AR house is. This is Aidan, my co-founder, and this house is quite a bizarre story. It's just getting started. There's a lot that we're learning, and we believe that communities like this can stop the metaverse from becoming a dystopia and a dumpster fire. No dystopia. Yeah, okay, cool. So, hi everyone, I'm Lucas. This is Aidan Wolf. And this is the AR house. It's it's a house for augmented reality creators in the Hollywood Hills. It's a beautiful space that is. It has we have this great room in which people have these foldable desks they can set up anywhere, Valve style, and just work anywhere they want. We have dorm rooms. We have kitchen, and we have a hot tub.
With a breakfast nook.
Yeah, with breakfast, coffee. It's a beautiful space that I think it's been compared to an AR summer camp. Every month we have new artists that come from many different parts of the world to just build whatever it is they think is fun. And they live in here for a month. They create whatever it is they want to create. And our goal is that they walk out of there with something they're proud of, and that they get to make 1 or 2 lifelong friendships they can take for the rest of the industry. And the space is nice, but it's really about
The
the people.
people.
Yes. This is a hackathon, for example. We do monthly hackathons over there, and people just come from all over. There's lots of people here who were at the hackathon.
Yeah. Who's been to the AR house before?
Here.
Raise your hand. Yeah. Let's see. Woo!
Yeah, okay. No, that's
Woo!
actually a really good percentage. But we do
Yeah.
events. We do monthly hackathons. We do weekly pool parties where people can test our prototypes. And we do a lot of jumping in the air. This was the last cohort of last month. A lot of them are here.
No snap ghosts were hurt in the making of this photo.
There was one project. This is. There was one team in particular that built an AR game for the pool, and the space is amazing. The people is amazing, and
Yeah. Are they?
I guess we could talk about why the hell we did this.
We should point them out because they didn't just like settle to make a lens or something. They made something that you played with a pool noodle in a pool while on a
the
pool
pool
float.
noodle
Like,
is your weapon, and
This
you
is what AR does, right? Like maybe a little different than what VR is possible.
Yeah,
I think
it's,
Alan is here, Steph, and
Exactly.
all of them.
It's a paradise for nice nerds. And why did we create this, Aidan?
Because we're lonely.
No.
No. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Because basically, there's points in both of Lucas and I's career where maybe we were a little more isolated, and we had an opportunity to meet some cool people in the space, and our whole lives changed. I came to AWE in 2018 from Ohio, with feeling like I was like an ultra imposter. Didn't want to come out of my motel room. Met Lucas, and my whole life changed. And I was working with building Magic Leap stuff and awesome stuff there, and it was
Right.
just because Lucas decided to like take me in to his place in San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I met Aidan actually here in 2018
Yeah.
at the conference. He was a volunteer, and within like hours of talking, I invited him to live with me.
Yeah.
And I did this with other people too, and it kind of always works out in a very weird way.
Yeah. There's a certain personality. You have to be like curious and wanting to build something, but also not sure what the heck you're doing, and then you end up with Lucas somehow. Yeah, it's basically that. So
Yeah.
we just wanted to do that for a whole lot of people. So putting a house together was the opportunity to give a bunch of people a level up, give them hardware, access, network, everything, and most importantly, a community that can continue to support them, not just in the month in the house, but continually forever. This is a place they can always come back to.
Right.
That's the most important part.
But also one of the reasons we did this is that we're both independent creators, right? And indies can do some nice things on their own, and we actually believe that there's so much potential in the indie scene when it comes to helping define what the future will be. But the future of augmented reality, for the most part, is very corporate controlled, right? We have. Ooh, yeah. We have a very small number of companies that basically dictate what the future can be, and indie voices are cool and they are interesting, and people approach things from a completely different angle. But isolated, it's really hard to enact change. So what we're trying to do here is just basically gather all the crazy individuals that alone can't do much in terms of steering the industry in a more positive direction, and shove them in the same community, give them a space that over time could maybe tilt the needle and move the future in a particularly different direction.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I'll add a little spice. I think there's a good quote that like artists soften the blow to the chin of society on behalf of big corporations, and I think it's like artists can be the ones who shape, form, create the society that we all live in, and give like a nice, better vision that's not totally centralized. So
Right.
we got to do things like this, more like community. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been an amazing journey. We're learning a lot along the way, and I don't know how many of you know, but this community started with a tweet. You were on Twitter. Me and Aidan actually hadn't talked for several months, and then we got together one day and we're like, oh, that's that AR house thing. Maybe we should do it. So we just decided to literally just tweet like, hey guys, does anybody have $100,000? We want to start this house. And in a couple of hours, we raised most of the funding we required.
Yeah.
And starting this, being able to do this from a perspective of being completely community funded has been incredibly liberating, because we can just focus on creating a space that we think is where people can just do whatever they want, and there's no pressure people just play with the toys that they want to play, and they make what it is they want to make. And we think over time, over many years, the more communities like this we have, the more augmented reality moves in a more sustainable direction.
Yeah. People just gave us money, and they didn't ask for anything, and we were like, "Are you sure?"
No,
This
yeah.
is- like we could fail, and they're like, "No, it sounds good. Yeah, I got a bonus this year. I'll give it to you." But yeah, it was awesome, and yeah, we're able to make this just out of a tweet. We call Twitter like a quantum reality generator. You should like use it for your ideas. We could do a whole talk on that. We won't waste our time, but like put your ideas out sooner. By the way, like just put them out and let the community around you help you decide. Max in the audience here, she's like helping out in Uganda, starting like a VR hub because of a tweet as well, and like it's just crazy. There's amazing things that can happen.
So in the interest of keeping things dynamic, I'd like to know if you guys have any questions or things you'd like to ask when it comes to communities, when it comes to any of these things that we've raised so far. You can raise your hand, otherwise we can keep blabbing on. There we go. Thank you so much. He's been to the house.
Yeah, what's up, friends? My name is Lex. I've been to the house. It's the most magical place on earth. No, honestly, I genuinely say that. And honestly, we all have the same tech. Everybody has AR, LiDAR, VR headsets. There's something that makes this place different. And Tony Parisi made some 10 commandments of XR. There's the a bunch of different rules to live by, rules to make by. What is the principles that there's a certain thing that you guys have that's so unique and so different than everything else? What is how would you define that, and where did you get that? Where did it start? And it's mutual. Like we all see it and we all understand it instantly, and we all love it instantly. So where did it come from? Like how did it start, and how is it going?
I think one of the values that I have personally is that I think innovation happens by accident. I don't believe it's, I think if you create an environment of free play in which people can just explore whatever it is they find personally compelling, and not worry about achieving any particular goal, if you just keep following a path that interests you, eventually you stumble upon something unique, and eventually you stumble something of value, and eventually you stumble upon something that's extremely valuable. When I was introduced, people talk about Where Thoughts Go, which was a game that I made just because I was interested in connecting people emotionally. But what I found out later is that I accidentally created group therapy, a new way of doing group therapy in virtual reality, and now it's being used to treat cancer-related anxiety, and all sorts of things. All these medical applications that were created just because I decided to have fun and explore something that interested me. And I think this is one of the key aspects of the house. It's not giving people. You don't have to make anything useful. Just make whatever it is that you want and have fun doing it, and just try to invigorate yourself mentally as long as you're going in the direction that's more and more exciting for you personally. It's only a matter of time before you stumble into gold. So that's one of my views.
Yeah, I'll give like a couple sprinkles of why it works, I think, at the house. And when I created Doodle Lens, which is my most successful AR app to date, I was watching a YouTube video from like the Angry Video Game Nerd on camcorders, and I was like, this is the most genius AR idea ever, so I built it that weekend. But the only reason I was able to build that weekend was I had like a pretty good contracting job at the time. I had like a little more free time. I wasn't stressing about like a startup or like what I was gonna do. And what I just say is as freedom-seeking people, Lucas and I want to be able to create whatever we want to create. You have to have an environment that encourages that, and you have to have a couple basic needs met. And I think there's that pyramid of basic needs, or whatever it's called. You probably have all seen it at some point. We just see the house as fulfilling some of that. Hopefully, we have food, we have bagels, we have a house. It's a nice backyard. You could go meditate. There's a garden. There's a lot of things that we were looking for to just go come here, and if you want to create, but we aren't going to force you. But it turns out that everyone goes and creates something because everyone around them is doing that and inspiring them, and mine as well, pass the time. So it's just an oasis, I think. You have to create little slices of heaven. That's about it. Yeah.
Also, magical things happen when people cook for each other. This is one of the things we noticed. And so it's almost, we also try to instill a culture of, if you're cooking for one, cook for five. And that does so much. And the more people bond, the better the ideas get. And so Yeah, there's lots of principles, but we got started. Like before that, we were doing houses around the world. It was called a reality caravan, in which we would just convince 6 people to like go to Vietnam for a month and just build stuff next to each other, and that was really fun. And we were doing this initially because we could not afford LA. And turns out that traveling around the world is cheaper than living in LA.
LA is expensive.
Considerably, actually. But with the tweet and with the support of the community, we're able to create something pretty great, and it just got started. And if you want to apply, we have new applications open for December, January, until March, and then we're out of money.
So if you can help there, that's not to plug, but we would love to keep this going for a really long time. And
Oh, yes, and we don't get paid.
Yeah, Lucas and I have full-time jobs outside of this full-time job, so it's like...
And we don't get paid in any of those either.
Yeah, we don't get... Oh, fuck.
Dude, AR is so hard.
Oh, sorry, excuse my language.
No, seriously.
We're really bad at this.
This is one of the things that it's like, we've been having to keep this community very accessible because most AR creators, I mean, if you're doing AR right now, it's because you really love it, right?
Exactly.
Because you're not, unless you're in medical, you're not really making a lot of money from it.
Medical.
If there's easier ways of making money than doing AR experiences.
Medical, you said, was it?
I mean, medical's fine, I'm sure. Medical industrial training, you folks
Excuse me, sorry, Facebook.
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, which is why it's actually been one of the most rewarding things about this. The people that come in there do AR because they love it, which is a great foundation for a community. I'm sure it's going to change. The moment AR starts to become bigger and there's hype around it and people start making money, the community will like become complicated. But yeah, questions? Give us food.
All right, I got a question for you guys.
Oh, he's been waiting.
All right, I'll just go.
Yeah,
So
you start a line.
That's all right. So I'm listening to your story, and it sounds a lot like this. To me, just seems like a substitute for college to some extent.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk a little bit about that. Like, I'm not saying like if you have kids, send them to college. I went to college, but I'm seeing more. Yeah, it was great. Did you go to college?
I didn't finish school.
Okay, so this is actually the point of my question, which is like how many people in that photo went to college versus chose to come to your house? And is there, I would think, potentially a better, it seems like a pretty cool experience. It certainly looks better than my dorm room. More life skills potentially because you're cooking for people and things like that. But in your experience, is the network that's been created as well as the space that you're in is so new? Like where would you even go to today at a local, like at a university like Stanford or whoever, like who's going to teach you that? My father dropped out of college back in the, I don't want to say the date, but like, because he was learning computer science and he was making it versus he couldn't learn it from anywhere. So where do you see what you're doing today and how that changes the industry of education?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, college is a network and a community. You go to the right school, you meet the right people, you find the right opportunities in life. Learning goes along the way, but oftentimes our thirst for knowledge has to extend to YouTube University, other places. I think you just have to create an intellectual environment, basically anywhere. You could do it with your own friends, talk about what you care about. You will have a better experience than, in 90% of the schools. There's some great schools, by the way, but
did you finish college?
I did not. No, I dropped out to start a company.
I dropped out twice.
That was a bad idea. Don't do that. Finish school. But it leads to amazing things. Just kidding. That's for all the parents and kids out there. Go to college.
But in for emerging technology spaces, as you mentioned, you can't really. It's sure you can have someone teach you, but honestly, you're better off on YouTube, and you're better off. Actually, one of the most fantastic things about this first cohort is that the person with the least amount of skill, the person that didn't know how to do anything, was the most productive person in the house.
They created an AR experience for every platform.
Every single headset.
Every headset.
Yeah, exactly. And we expected like nothing of them, and they just outmatched everybody.
That was on top of a full-time job.
Just being in this sort of like small, tight-knit environment where you're free to explore these skills at your own pace, but you're also just being energized by everyone's excitement and energy, kind of like a happy cult. It's definitely an interesting part of the future of education, especially in the emerging technology space.
Like if we were to get real big brain, galaxy brain energy on this, it would be like, yeah, this is the future of college. We come together and there's education opportunities and hardware and everything. And then it's the future of like community and neighborhood and everything from there, right? Like we're gonna draw our lines in the sand on like how we see reality probably. So it starts in little hubs like this and what we learn, so yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Rapid fire.
You got this. Appreciate the
Also,
run.
thank you guys. You've been great.
My question is just like, this is awesome. Not to minimize it, I want to go there. But how do you guys see this idea like expanding out into the whole community and not like LA or someone who's going to fly to LA or 5 or 6 people?
We're just trying to do one and make it work really well, and that's the focus right now. Is get one to work. And make sure that it's an environment that's like positive for everybody, and everybody has a positive experience. It's a place that doesn't succumb into party culture or gets out of control. Just trying to nail the first one, and then we'll think about expanding. But there's many ways this could go. It could go down an educational route. You could open more houses. But that's one of the great things about being community funded is that we're not on a rush. We can just go at our own pace.
Yeah, there's no like hockey stick curve growth path that we have to go for. And it's just like, imagine if we're like a single-celled organism right now. We got to like figure out that we're healthy and work before we start replicating and creating more of this. And maybe we should be like algae instead of like a human being kind of thing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I just think we should inspire this type of living in our community and beyond. And like, that's what we'd like to see, I think, is just more of these.
And LA has been strategic because it has lots of content creators from TikTok, YouTube, etc., that come into the house and fall in love with what it is that, the kind of world that we're building. And it opens opportunities for collaboration and marketing and everything that creates a tide for everybody in the house.
Yeah. And we're basically open to the whole AR community through our
Yeah,
events.
you're all
so,
welcome.
Yeah,
Just
please
hang out.
Yeah, come hang out. That's like the whole point. So yeah, we have a couple creators in every month, but this is for everyone. So yeah, that's the house.
Cool. We have one more question.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Very quick. 4 words max. How do you do? Next
This Saturday.
this Saturday.
Yeah, another prototype pool party.
Woo.
Also, it's like the pool is an amazing background for AR experiences, and you should all be exploring it. If anybody's working on an underwater AR headset, please let us know. We're
Yeah.
actually like dying.
Yeah, just come hang out, wear a bathing suit. Yeah, there'll be like fun activities and AR to try and all that kind of stuff. Like that's our
Well,
Saturdays. Yeah.
Everybody, I would like to thank you all for being part of this very organized and
We might have one more question.
carefully
with
conducted
20
talk.
seconds.
And yeah, feel free to talk to us throughout the conference. We're gonna have a booth at the playground. You'll see it. It's loud.
Oh, it'll be loud? I hope it just looks like a house. That was the goal.
Yeah, follow the floaties. Follow the unicorns. But yeah, thank you everybody.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you. I think hopefully it helps.